The story introduces a feared senior at Kurosa's high school. Kurose, a first-year student and health committee member, is shown handling various duties while other students rely on him. Despite his frustration, he keeps working and wishes he could properly stand up for himself. The feared senior suddenly appears and confronts the noisy students. Her cold expression and intimidating presence immediately silence everyone. She then fixes a terrific glance and orders them to get out. Other students immediately apologize after seeing Hamiya-senpai. Her terrifying glare makes everyone nervous, while she calmly scratches at her nails, showing how intimidating she really is. Kurose notes that she often stays in the nurse's office instead of attending class, giving him a chance to talk to her, though he is clearly nervous. Hamiya suddenly changes her attitude and warmly greets Kurose with a smile. She casually teases him about getting stuck with cleaning duty again, making her seem much friendlier than her frightening reputation suggests. For some reason, Kurose becomes extremely flustered after realizing Hamiya is actually kind to him. He stares at her in disbelief, making her wonder what is wrong. Unable to handle his emotions anymore, he suddenly collapses in embarrassment, leaving Hamiya worried and confused. Hamiya quickly checks on Kurose and asks if he is feeling sick. She leans closer with genuine concern, while Kurose remains shocked and nervous by her sudden closeness. Meanwhile, seeing her close, he starts to wonder that this feels good. Chapter 2 begins with Hamiya still known as the senior everyone fears. However, Kurose remembers how kindly she treated him during cleaning and starts wondering if she is actually a nice person. Just then he notices a group of students approaching and realizes they are coming their way. Hamiya immediately confronts the group, ordering them to move aside instead of blocking the entire path. Her terrifying glare makes them panic and apologize as they quickly move away. Kurose watches the scene and realizes that despite how nice she is to him, Hamiya-senpai really is frightening. Hamiya warmly asks Kurose to walk to school together, leaving him extremely flustered and confused about why she is so kind to him. As they walk, everyone around them stares because of Hamiya's intimidating reputation. Kurose becomes even more embarrassed and insists there must be some kind of misunderstanding, and asks why she is acting nice with him. Hamiya looks at Kurose with a teasing smile and asks why he thinks she is being unusually nice to him. Hamiya smiles at Kurose, making him blush as he wonders if she actually likes him. Hamiya suddenly suppresses a laugh at his flustered reaction. Hamiya explains that she noticed Kurose is always cleaning the nurse's office. As they continue walking, she reminds him that the school bell will ring soon, while Kurose remains nervous and unsure whether he has already won her over. Kurose reflects on how hard he has worked for the health committee, having practically run it himself since joining. Hamiya spots a cat and happily points it out, while Kurose agrees that it is cute. As they continue walking, they suddenly bump into some other students who apologize because they are in a hurry. Hamiya immediately confronts the students, making them realize their mistake. They become terrified and repeatedly apologize, while Kurose watches nervously, convinced that Hamiya is truly frightening. After they leave, Hamiya checks whether Kurose is hurt, but he apologizes for causing trouble. She notices his scraped, slightly bleeding hands and suggests washing them at a nearby park. She then finds a band-aid and tells him to sit for a moment while she treats the injury. Hamiya warns Kurose that applying the band-aid will sting. As she treats his hand, Kurose becomes extremely flustered because her face is close and he notices how soft and pretty her hand feels. Hamiya finishes applying the band-aid and pats his hand, telling him it should do the job. When she asks if it still hurts, Kurose nervously insists that he is fine while internally realizing he had been staring at her. He then notices the cute design on the band-aid and finds it adorable. 15 minutes late, Kurose and Hamiya arrive at school, where a bald teacher scolds them for getting too comfortable with the new term. Kurose tries to explain that there is a reason, but the teacher refuses to hear excuses. Hamiya stays silent and irritated while the teacher criticizes them for walking to school together with a girl and arriving late, asking if they have nothing better to do before getting lost in puppy love. Hamiya casually apologizes, saying the sunlight was so bright that she couldn't hear, to which the teacher scolds her back for making fun of his bald head. The teacher then says both of them will have to stay and clean as punishment, leaving Kurose shocked that he got dragged into it too. Kurose apologizes to Hamiya for making them late, but she tells him not to worry about it. Kurose is impressed that she isn't intimidated by the teacher and thinks Hamiya is amazing. Hamiya simply accepts the situation with a casual, amused expression. Hamiya says she had fun walking with Kurose-kun, and happily adds that they are even now. Kurose, blushing, looks at Heimiya as the narration describes her as expected, scary and cute. Heimiya greets the teacher, who notices she has a visitor. She compliments him by saying he is shining as always, and he jokes about her calling him bald. She responds that he is obviously bald, laughing with him. The narration notes that the two somehow get along pretty well. Kurose feels bad that Heimiya is being forced to clean the pool for detention, something he never imagined would happen. Heimiya appears in a casual outfit with an oversized top and shorts, leaving Kurose visibly stunned as he notices her appearance. Kurose thinks getting detention was actually great after all. Heimiya tells him to hurry up and clean, and he quickly agrees. As they walk, he remembers that Heimiya said walking to school together was fun, but realizes they were late because of him and tells himself not to get carried away. Heimiya then calls out to Kurose and he nervously responds. Heimiya says that doing something like this might not be so bad after all. Kurose turns toward her and says he is having fun too. Heimiya happily says she is glad, while Kurose blushes and thinks he is glad she isn't angry because she is so nice. Kurose realizes Heimiya-senpai is actually very nice and thinks that since they are alone for pool cleaning, he might get a chance to talk with her more. More students arrive, complaining that cleaning is a pain and deciding to play around instead. Kurose realizes he is no longer alone with Heimiya and watches the others running around, thinking they seem pretty lively. Heimiya is sitting alone, and Kurose notices her and points out that more people came to help clean. Heimiya sits on the ground looking visibly angry. Kurose realizes she is definitely upset, but she brushes it off. He suggests forgetting the others and focusing on cleaning together. But then she suddenly says, no. Kurose questions why she just said, no. Kurose becomes flustered and started to wonder if she said, no, because she doesn't want others to come in the way, when it's their first time being alone. And suddenly water splashes across Heimiya's face. The other students panic after seeing Heimiya's reaction. Heimiya becomes furious and threatens to beat them all up. Kurose realizes that Heimiya-senpai is still scary after all, while the others apologize and run away. Heimiya looks at her phone and sees that the water has completely ruined her makeup. Kurose notices her reaction and thinks that being a girl seems difficult. The boys finish cleaning quickly and leave. Heimiya complains that her clothes and hair are completely soaked and says she deserves compensation for the disaster. Kurose admits that, coming from Heimiya-senpai, that doesn't sound like a joke. Heimiya tries to fix her wet hair but accepts that nothing can be done about it now. Heimiya decides to get back to cleaning. Kurose suddenly notices that her wet shirt is see-through and becomes extremely flustered, covering his eyes and panicking. Kurose desperately tries not to look at her, afraid she will catch him staring. Kurose finally offers her his jersey, asking her to wear it. But first she gets little suspicious by his move. After looking down she realizes what is the problem. Heimiya thanks Kurose for being considerate and says his gesture was pretty cool. She puts on his jersey, while Kurose gets flustered and says it should be enough to keep her covered. Heimiya then decides they should quickly finish cleaning. Heimiya asks Kurose to get her a bucket, and he agrees while thinking about everything that happened between them. He also wonders what she meant earlier when she dismissed the matter with a casual nah. Heimiya calls him over and urges him to hurry, making him think she is cute. Kurose then asks what she was about to say before she got splashed. Heimiya says what Kurose was asking about is a secret. She tells him to hurry and finish cleaning, while he begs her to tell him. Kurose continues cleaning while Heimi silently stares at him. And she suddenly splashes water at him. She then laughs as he reacts to the water. Afterwards Kurose thinks that cleaning with Heimiya was fun, but since the locker room is closed and nobody is around, he decides to head to the infirmary. Heimiya is changing clothes in the infirmary, wearing a bra and skirt while putting on her shirt. Kurose sees her and freezes in shock. He is sweating heavily and can only react with a stunned, ah. He then notices someone approaching and nervously apologizes. Heimiya looks toward him. Heimiya approaches Kurose with a smile and tells him to forget what he just saw. Kurose desperately says he will forget it, but the narration makes it clear that there is no way he could forget what happened. That night, Kurose sits at home staring at his phone, his heart pounding as he remembers what happened. He suddenly gets overwhelmed and falls back, while his sisters worry that something is wrong with him and wonder if they should take him to a hospital. The next day, Kurose is still unable to forget what happened and wonders how he can face Heimiya-senpai after rushing home. As they are about to pass each other at school, he thinks he should at least say something. Heimiya appears in her usual sharp, intimidating mood, while Kurose encourages himself that he should be fine because it is only a greeting. Kurose finally greets Heimiya-senpai, but she simply walks past him while looking at her phone. Kurose is stunned by being ignored and watches her walk away, confused by her reaction. Kurose realizes she is definitely still angry about yesterday and panics, thinking this is the worst possible situation. He becomes nervous and wonders that he thought they had actually gotten closer. Kurose sits in class, realizing he may have misunderstood everything, and then he realizes that she is always in the infirmary and that there is no real reason for the scary famous senpai to be kind to him. Kurose insists he has nothing to do with Heimiya, but still feels he needs to properly apologize for making her uncomfortable, regardless of what she thinks of him. Kurose arrives at the infirmary, expecting Heimiya to be there. He slides the door open and finds her sitting inside on a couch, looking at her phone. Seeing her makes him nervous, but he gathers himself and calls out to her. Heimiya notices Kurose and greets him while adjusting her glasses, then asks if he is cleaning again today. Kurose nervously struggles to speak, surprised by how normally she is acting. Kurose asks Heimiya about yesterday and whether she was angry. She seems confused and asks why she would be angry. Kurose explains that she ignored him in the hallway when he called out, leaving him wondering what happened. Heimiya reacts with confusion, apparently not understanding why he thought she was angry. Heimiya explains that she forgot her contact lenses so she could not see properly, and she also had her earphones in so she did not notice Kurose calling her. She apologizes for making him worry, leaving Kurose visibly shocked and relieved. Kurose is relieved that Heimiya is acting normally. She tells him yesterday was basically an accident, so he did nothing wrong, though she warns him to forget it. Kurose admits he had been worried the whole time and was afraid she might hate him, especially after they had finally gotten closer. Heimiya teases Kurose, asking if he really didn't want her to hate him that badly. Kurose panics and tries to clarify that he meant something else, while both of them blush. Heimiya's eyesight is revealed to be only 0.2, while Kurose's is 1.5. They compare their vision by making a circle with their fingers, showing just how different their eyesight is. Kurose receives the tracksuit that Senpai returned and immediately notices its familiar scent. Holding it close, he becomes flustered and thinks it smells incredible. The next morning, Kurose walks to school surrounded by other students. Then the girls that is walking before him started to talk about the message they were talking about yesterday. After realizing it, he looks at his messaging app and only to find out his family members are there. Kurose checks Ryan and sighs, realizing he still hasn't made any friends since starting high school, with only family and coupon notifications. He gets flustered, admitting he doesn't know what Senpai thinks of him. He then admits he wants to ask for Senpai's contact information, insisting that's all. Kurose wonders what kind of Ryan messages Heimiya would even send. Kurose imagines her messages receiving cold responses, being left on read, and even her profile icon appearing completely black. He then thinks that honestly such behavior seems completely possible for Heimiya senpai, leaving him puzzled. Kurose becomes extremely flustered when he encounters Heimiya senpai and nervously greets her. She recognizes him, then casually asks if he wants to walk to school together, leaving him stunned. As they walk together, Kurose wonders why the timing is always perfect whenever he thinks about senpai. He knows she doesn't hate him, while senpai looks at her phone and finds something funny. He then reassures himself that they are acquaintances and that asking for her contact information is completely normal. Heimiya asks Kurose if he wants to exchange Ryan. Kurose is stunned and flustered, while Heimiya notices his reaction. Afterwards he wonders is it really okay to exchange contacts with her, but then she suddenly says when he ran out from the pool at yesterday, she didn't had any ways to reach out to him, and besides that they are now friends so it's not really a problem to exchange their contacts. Hearing her call him a friend he got shocked and blushes slightly. Heimiya and Kurose exchange their Ryan contact information. Kurose is nervous and flustered as he looks at Heimiya senpai's Ryan, while Heimiya notices that his profile has no picture and teases him about it. Kurose then notices her profile picture, which is a cute bunny, and becomes even more flustered. Kurose happily realizes that Heimiya's name is Mio. He tells her that he has only just learned her first name, meanwhile she stays silent but for him he was happy. Mio becomes extremely flustered and blushes while resting her face on her hand. When Kurose asks what is wrong, she brushes it off and tells him to hurry up and walk, smacking him as they continue down the street. Later, Kurose looks at Mio's Ryan profile and smiles to himself. Meanwhile, his sister notices his strange behavior and worry that he has been acting creepy lately, even suggesting that they should take him to a hospital. Kurose overhears students discussing second-year Heimiya and learns a rumor that she was seen smoking. He is shocked, wondering if the rumor could really be true despite how unlikely it seems. Kurose keeps thinking about the smoking rumor and finds it hard to imagine Heimiya becoming a delinquent. At the infirmary he asks about her, and the staff member says that if he means Mio-chan, she is in the back garden. Kurose thanks her and goes to check while still believing the rumor is probably baseless. Kurose finds Mio smoking in the back garden and is shocked to see the rumor is true. She calmly holds a cigarette and a cigarette pack while Kurose stares in disbelief. Mio notices Kurose and offers him one. Kurose is startled, but then realizes the supposed cigarettes are actually ramen candy sticks. Mio explains that they are a look-alike candy that you crunch and can become addictive. Kurose feels relieved, though he worries that Mio eating them will still cause confusion. Kurose explains that the ramen candy is easy to mistake for a cigarette, then admits he had heard a rumor that Senpai was smoking. She says people spread rumors about her all the time and she simply lets them talk, but Kurose admits he was worried until he saw her himself. Senpai teases Kurose by asking what if she really had been smoking, making him panic. She then laughs and reveals she was only kidding, leaving Kurose relieved. Kurose finds Senpai feeding the koi in the back garden and asks if she really likes them. She says she wouldn't say she likes them, but wonders what the little fish are thinking. Senpai wonders what the koi taste like, shocking Kurose. He finds her comment terrifying, and the two sit awkwardly beside the pond in silence while the koi continues swimming. Kurose decides he needs to be useful to Senpai, so he searches online to learn whether koi can actually be eaten. He discovers that koi can be prepared as food if properly cleaned and that people eat them in miso soup or simmered dishes. Senpai apologizes for joking about eating the koi, admitting she didn't actually want to know that. Kurose realizes her Kansai-style teasing is too advanced and worries she might actually eat everyone. Senpai then admits her jokes really don't land with Kurose, leaving him confused. Senpai is shown feeding the koi behind the infirmary, where she is also responsible for taking care of them. Kurose's older sister, Sora, suddenly appears and scares him. She teases him for getting scared so easily and asks if he was watching something dirty. She then asks if he is free on Sunday and Kurose confirms he is. Sora explains that she was going to watch a movie with a friend, but her friend could not make it, so she asks Kurose to go with her instead because the ticket would otherwise go to waste. Sora asks their youngest sister, Umi, if she is free Sunday, but Umi has club activities. Sora reveals the movie is a hardcore horror film and says there are 2 tickets, so Kurose should invite a friend since he is in high school and should at least have one. Kurose checks his contacts, but struggles to think of a friend to invite. He panics after seeing Mio in his contacts, insisting it is impossible, then realizes they are not close enough yet to casually invite someone out, but inviting someone itself is already a big step for him. Kurose imagines how things might go if he invites Senpai, convincing himself everything will be fine. Then a message from her arrives, making him panic with excitement. And also got shocked since he read it instantly. The message is about committee duty next week, but Kurose is still overwhelmed by the sudden notification. He struggles to figure out what to reply, knowing he has already reached the point where he cannot back out. Kurose finally asks Senpai if she is free on Sunday and nervously invites her to watch a horror movie, explaining that he has an extra ticket. Senpai agrees to go, leaving Kurose extremely excited and overwhelmed with happiness. He thanks his sister for helping him get the opportunity. Mio lies on her bed looking at her phone, and she scratches the pillow using her legs. Mio looks at her phone in surprise, then blushes as she reacts to the message. The page ends by teasing that the two of them will go out together next time. Later that night, Kurose and his sisters are together at home. Kurose nervously approaches his older sister, Sora, and asks her to help him choose something to wear for Sunday. But then this made them to get shocked. Sora realizes that Kurose is going out with a girl and becomes excited. She happily teases him and says that having a big sister like her will be useful. Kurose becomes embarrassed and tries to explain that it is not like that, but Sora continues teasing him, saying he should have protection, but then he gets angry and asks her to take it seriously. Kurose asks Sora what kind of outfit he should wear, while asking her not to make fun of him. Kurose then appears dressed in a cardigan over a shirt with a shoulder bag, while Sora looks over his outfit. Sora and Umi look at him with unimpressed expressions. Sora then admits that asking them for help was a smart decision. Sora decides to trim Kurose's hair and fix it up, while also teaching him how to style it. Kurose thanks her sincerely and she agrees that keeping things simple is best. She then fixes his face and encourages him to go with confidence, pointing out that he has a cute face like hers. Sora explains that girls put a lot of effort into getting ready when they go out, even when they are only meeting someone. She shows the process of dressing up and preparing, including styling their hair and applying makeup. Sora advises Kurose that if he thinks the girl looks cute, he should not be embarrassed and should tell her. Kurose remains silent, while Umi watches from the doorway. Sora doubts that Kurose would actually be able to say something like that. Kurose thanks his sister for everything and says he is going to bed, but he becomes increasingly nervous about the upcoming outing. Sora gives Kurose some advice about his outfit. She says that his clothes do not look bad, but they are not suitable for hanging out with a girl. She also questions why he is carrying such a huge bag.